thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing your guests.
Yes, these guests are courtesy of Tomas Urea. He is a local Albuquerque beekeeper, honeybee keeper, and recently I had an opportunity to go out into the field with Tomas, and these beauties are his contribution to the show today.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
So you've moved here from the Bay Area in California.
Correct.
And you're putting on Bee Week, or Bees Week.
Bees Week, yes. June
right.
3rd through 9th. It's during the Albuquerque Film and Media Experience, and they were kind enough to invite me and my collective to come here to talk about the plight of pollinators.
Now, we've heard this in the news, and this is a real thing that's happening with the honeybee population in this country and worldwide. For some reason, and scientists are kind of figuring out what's going on with them, but we're losing a lot of bees, is basically what's happening.
We are losing a lot of bees, and bees are humanity's primary food pollinators. They pollinate fruits, vegetables, nuts, and spices, and we do know what's killing the honeybees. And it's interesting to note that it's not just one or two things, it's about 10 things all at once. And that's what makes the issue so challenging. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the first reason that honeybees are dying is because of these little mites, the Varroa mites. And they're these little tiny bugs that attach themselves to the honeybees, and there's not an easy way to rid them once they're present in a colony. And also there are bacterial infections, and then, as we all know, chemicals. Chemicals are everywhere. They're used in farming, in our own yards. And unwittingly, people apply chemicals to their yards, and they end up killing the pollinators that beautify their own yards.
So is there something that we can do as individuals to kind of help with this problem?
Yes, so being curious is probably the best thing that somebody can do. You know, once you hear about the bees dying, looking into for yourself in the way that you like to research why it's happening. Now, each area is different. However, the planet is suffering from the same malady, which is the extremely quick decline in honeybee populations. Now, there's just, there's 20,000 types of bees on the planet, and the honeybee is the only one that produces honey, and so it's become a commodity. And so when their bees die, the food's not being pollinated.
Now, can they be quarantined in some way? Can we protect them from these different things, or is that practical?
It's impractical to quarantine them because they can fly so many miles from wherever they're housed. Right. So they're flying around, pollinating, beautifying, and along the way they are being attacked by, the list of ailments, the bugs, the bacteria, the chemicals, and they don't survive.
As in the case with the mite and the bacteria, one bee can infect the whole hive? Is that what happens? Or is it like getting the flu?
Well, with bacterial infections, that is a way that it happens. Again, with the mite being the biggest problem, we can't kill the mite without killing the bees.
I see.
And so it's kind of a challenge. However, Pollinator Support Movement is in town to launch the nation's only known solution to the honeybee failure, and that is the Bee Gap program. And the Bee Gap program is using native solitary bees to augment the losses of honeybees. It's a new industry. It's never been done before. And so it takes a lot of people with a concerted effort to help the food supply chain keep going by using solitary bees to pollinate what honeybees traditionally would.
So what does that mean? Like, what is the process to do that?
To propagate native solitary bees, which are called stingless bees, is about 3 hours of work per year. Solitary bees are different than bees in colonies like honeybees that you see here, in that they live in proximity of each other, but they do not live in the exact same space. So they don't live in the same space like the honeybee. So the native solitary bees, they actually house themselves in little reeds. If you imagine a number 2 pencil that was hollowed out, they can lay 1 to 2 cocoons in there, and once the cocoons are present, you can take the cocoons and give them to farms that need it for food pollination. You can give them to neighbors who want to use them to beautify their own yards, or you can give them back to Pollinator Support Movement through the Bee Gap program, and we can take them to the local farms that need the help.